Have you ever wondered what your toys do when you leave the room? Today, we're diving into a story that answered that question for an entire generation, a tale of friendship, jealousy, and the secret lives of our childhood companions. This is the story of Woody and Buzz Lightyear. In a cozy bedroom owned by a boy named Andy, a cowboy doll named Woody reigned supreme. He wasn't just any toy, he was Andy's favorite. As the undisputed leader of the toy box community, Woody had it all: respect, admiration, and the coveted spot on Andy's bed. Life was perfect. The other toys, like the witty Mr. Potato Head, the loyal Slinky Dog, and the timid dinosaur Rex, all looked up to him. Woody's job was simple: make Andy happy, and he was the best at it. But everything changed on Andy's birthday. A new gift arrived, wrapped in shiny, futuristic packaging. It was Buzz Lightyear, a Space Ranger action figure with all the latest gadgets, a laser, wings that popped out, and a voice that declared, "To infinity and beyond." Buzz wasn't just a toy. He believed he was a real space ranger on a mission, marooned on a strange planet. Instantly, Andy was captivated. Buzz's high-tech features and heroic persona made him the new star of the show. Woody's prime spot on the bed was now occupied by this newcomer. The cowboy doll, once the center of attention, found himself tossed aside in the toy chest. A bitter seed of jealousy began to grow in Woody's stuffing-filled heart. He saw Buzz not as a friend, but as a threat to his entire world. The other toys were equally impressed by Buzz, which only fueled Woody's insecurity. He was no longer the leader, he was becoming a relic. Desperate to reclaim his status, Woody devised a plan. It wasn't meant to be malicious, just a little scheme to knock Buzz down a peg, maybe get him stuck behind the desk so Andy would choose Woody for a trip to Pizza Planet. But plans have a way of going wrong. Woody tried to use a remote-controlled car to push Buzz into the gap, but the plan backfired spectacularly. A series of unfortunate events sent Buzz tumbling straight out the open window. Silence fell over the room. The other toys, who witnessed the whole thing, were horrified. From their perspective, it looked like Woody had deliberately tried to get rid of Buzz. Mr. Potato Head, always the cynic, led the charge, accusing Woody of being a jealous monster. Despite Woody's frantic pleas that it was an accident, his friends turned on him. He was now an outcast, branded a toy killer. As fate would have it, Andy decided to take Woody to Pizza Planet after all, but only because he couldn't find Buzz. During a stop at the gas station, a still fuming Buzz, who had hitched a ride on the car, confronted Woody. Their argument escalated into a full-blown fight, and in the chaos, they both tumbled out of the car. Andy and his mom drove away, leaving the two rivals stranded and alone in the vast, intimidating human world. Their journey back was anything but easy. First, they had to get to Pizza Planet to find Andy. Buzz, still convinced he was a real space ranger, was more focused on finding a spaceship. Woody, on the other hand, just wanted to get home. Their conflicting goals led to constant bickering. At Pizza Planet, they snuck inside, hiding in a claw machine game that looked like a spaceship to Buzz, and that's where they met their worst nightmare. The claw machine was the domain of Sid, the notorious toy-torturing kid from next door. Sid won both Woody and Buzz and took them back to his house, a terrifying workshop of horrors where toys were dismembered, reassembled into monstrous creations, and blown up for fun. Sid's room was a graveyard for toys, and Woody and Buzz were his next victims. Trapped in this house of horrors, Woody and Buzz had to rely on each other to survive. Their escape attempts were thwarted by Sid's vicious dog, Scud, and the creepy, mutant toys that lurked in the shadows. It was here, in the darkest of places, that a crucial turning point occurred. Buzz saw a commercial for Buzz Lightyear action figures on TV. The ad showed a whole aisle of toys just like him, with the catchphrase, "Not a flying toy." The truth hit him like a ton of bricks. He wasn't a unique space ranger, he was a mass-produced plaything. Devastated, Buzz tried to prove the commercial wrong by attempting to fly from the top of the stairs. He jumped, spread his wings, and for a glorious moment, he soared ... Before plummeting to the ground, breaking one of his arms in the process, His spirit was shattered. He was no longer the confident hero, but a broken, disillusioned toy. Seeing Buzz in this state, Woody felt a pang of guilt and, for the first time, empathy. He realized how much his jealousy had cost them both. He tried to rally Buzz, but the former Space Ranger had given up. Meanwhile, Sid was preparing his grand finale, strapping Buzz to a rocket and getting ready to launch him into the sky. With time running out, Woody knew he couldn't do it alone. He had to enlist the help of Sid's mutant toys. At first, they were menacing, but Woody discovered they were actually kind and just as scared as he was. They were creative geniuses, masters of repair, who had pieced themselves together after Sid's destructive experiments. Woody, using his leadership skills, rallied this misfit crew for an audacious rescue mission. The plan was a masterclass in toy-based psychological warfare. As Sid prepared to light the rocket, the toys came to life. They rose from the ground, a silent, zombie-like army. Woody, through his voice box, spoke directly to Sid, telling him that toys could see everything. Sid, terrified out of his mind by the seemingly possessed toys, dropped Buzz and ran away screaming, cured of his toy-torturing habits forever. They had saved Buzz, but they had missed their chance. Andy's family was packing up the moving truck, about to leave for their new house forever. A frantic race against time began. Woody and Buzz chase after the moving truck, clinging to the back. But Scud, Sid's dog, was hot on their trail. In a moment of true self-sacrifice, Woody saved Buzz from the dog, but was left behind himself. Seeing Woody fall, Buzz, now fully embracing his role as a toy and a friend, jumped off the truck to help him. They found the rocket still strapped to Buzz's back. Woody, in a stroke of genius, lit the fuse. The rocket launched them into the air, soaring high above the street. As they flew towards the moving truck, Woody yelled, "This isn't flying, this is falling with style," a phrase Buzz had proudly used earlier. Buzz, his confidence restored, deployed his wings, detaching them from the rocket just before it exploded. They glided gracefully through the air and landed perfectly through the sunroof of the family car, right into a box next to Andy. When Andy found them, he was overjoyed. He thought they had been lost forever. The other toys in the moving truck, who had witnessed the incredible rescue, finally understood. Woody hadn't been malicious, he had been a hero. Mr. Potato Head and the others welcomed Woody and Buzz back with cheers. That Christmas at their new house, the toys gathered around the radio, anxiously listening for reports on Andy's new presents. But this time, the mood was different. There was no jealousy, no fear. Woody and Buzz stood side by side, their arms slung around each other. They were no longer rivals, but the best of friends. A new puppy was Andy's big gift, and as Woody and Buzz shared a knowing smile, they were ready to face this new challenge and any future adventures together. Their incredible journey had taught them that there is always room for one more friend and that true belonging comes not from being the favorite, but from the bonds you share. To infinity and beyond. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories like this. Let me know in the comments who your favorite toy was as a kid. See you next time.